Welcome to Veil of Time, where we uncover the forgotten chapters of history that often go unnoticed. Today we venture into the remarkable story of Carthage, a city that rose from the African coast to become one of the Mediterranean's most powerful and influential empires. This was no ordinary city-state. Carthage was an expansive empire that commanded vast stretches of territory, from North Africa to parts of Spain and beyond. It dominated the Mediterranean trade routes, boasting an unparalleled maritime force and a thriving economy that drew wealth from every corner of the known world. Yet despite its prominence and success, Carthage's legacy has been overshadowed, its story often told through the lens of its greatest adversary, Rome. Carthage dared to stand against the might of the Roman Republic, and in doing so, became a direct threat to Rome's dream of total Mediterranean domination. The Carthaginians were not just traders and sailors. They produced one of history's most revered military geniuses, Hannibal Barca. His tactical brilliance and daring campaigns left an indelible mark on military strategy, influencing generals and tacticians for centuries to come. However, as powerful as Carthage was, it faced the full wrath of Rome in a series of conflicts known as the Punic Wars. These wars would determine the fate of the Mediterranean and the future of two great civilizations. But Rome, ever the victor, made sure that the story of Carthage was nearly wiped from the annals of history. They sought to erase not only Carthage's physical existence, but its memory as well. Today we peel back the layers of history's veil and bring back to life the story of Carthage, its legendary leader Hannibal, and the empire that once rivaled Rome. This is the tale of the lost African empire that dared to defy one of the most relentless powers of the ancient world. Carthage, founded by Phoenician settlers, grew into one of the wealthiest and most powerful empires in the Mediterranean. Situated on the North African coast, Carthage was not just a city, it was an empire that commanded vast trade networks, its powerful navy patrolling the seas. But why is it that so few people know about Carthage today? Could it be because the victors wrote the history books? Carthage controlled key trade routes, bringing wealth from Africa, Europe, and Asia. They traded everything: silver, ivory, exotic animals. Carthage wasn't just a rival, it was a threat to Rome's dream of Mediterranean domination. And we all know what happens to those who challenge empires. They either win or get wiped from history. The First Punic War was just the beginning. It was a clash of titans: Rome, an up-and-coming republic, against Carthage, the established power. This wasn't just about territory, it was about pride. Carthage, with its maritime might, versus Rome, determined to dominate on land and sea. And after Rome took Sicily, Carthage had to find a new strategy. So where did Carthage look next? Spain, a land rich in resources. Carthage needed gold and silver to rebuild and to strike back at Rome. And this mission would fall to one of history's most brilliant tacticians, Hannibal Barca. Enter Hannibal Barca, the son of Hamilcar Barca, who had laid the foundations for Carthaginian power in Spain. Hannibal, from an early age, was taught one thing: Rome was the enemy. He even swore an oath to destroy Rome, and he intended to keep that promise. Hannibal wasn't just a conqueror, he was a diplomat. He made alliances, secured resources, and used Spain as the launching pad for his next move. A move so daring that even the mighty Romans would be caught off guard. But how do you catch an empire off guard? By doing the impossible. Hannibal knew that a direct attack on Rome would be unexpected. So instead of taking the sea route, he took the land route, through the Alps. Yes, the Alps. Picture tens of thousands of soldiers, horses, and even elephants. Yes, elephants, crossing icy mountains and enduring near impossible conditions. An African proverb says, "Smooth seas do not make skillful sailors." Well, Hannibal had no interest in smooth seas. He was climbing mountains. With every step, Hannibal faced freezing temperatures, narrow passes, and ambushes. But somehow he made it to Italy, battered but ready. And the Romans? They never saw it coming. Hannibal didn't just cross into Italy, he tore through it. At Trebia, at Lake Trasimene, and then at the infamous Battle of Cannae, Hannibal's tactics left the Romans utterly humiliated. Cannae was his masterpiece. a double envelopment that wiped out a force twice the size of his own. It's the battle still studied by military strategists today. But here's the twist. Hannibal never managed to take Rome itself. Why? Because he hoped the Italian cities would rise against Rome, but they didn't. But Hannibal's story didn't end at Zama. Though he was defeated, he wasn't captured. In fact, Hannibal spent years eluding Roman authorities, always just one step ahead. His reputation was so formidable that the Romans feared him even in defeat. He became a political figure in Carthage, attempting to rebuild what was left of his city and its power. But Rome, wary of his influence, demanded his exile. Hannibal fled, seeking refuge in various courts across the eastern Mediterranean, including with King Antiochus, the third of the Seleucid Empire. Even in exile, Hannibal remained a thorn in Rome's side. He advised Antiochus in his war against Rome, but the king's forces were no match for the Romans. After Antiochus's defeat, Hannibal was on the run once again. He never gave up the fight against Rome, and his influence stretched far beyond his homeland. Hannibal's final days were spent in Bithynia, where he took his own life rather than fall into Roman hands, reportedly saying, "Let us relieve the Romans of their long anxiety, since they think it too long to wait for the death of an old man." Hannibal's death marked the end of Carthage's greatest defender, but his legend was already cemented. Rome may have destroyed his city, but they could never destroy his legacy. Even Roman generals such as Scipio Africanus admired his brilliance. And though Rome erased Carthage from the map, the memory of Hannibal continued to live on through stories and military strategies studied by future generations. Meanwhile, Carthage, once a beacon of wealth and maritime dominance, became a footnote in history. The Romans were thorough in their destruction, but remnants of Carthage's greatness remained. Archaeological discoveries in Tunisia have revealed just how advanced and prosperous the city was. Its harbor, a marvel of engineering, showed the technological and logistical prowess that made Carthage a superpower of its time. Yet the Romans had successfully turned the world's attention away from this African empire. While Rome went on to build its own empire, which would dominate the Mediterranean for centuries, the memory of Carthage and Hannibal faded into the background. But the lessons of Hannibal's military genius never disappeared. His strategies influenced generals across history, from the Byzantine Empire to modern warfare. The double envelopment tactic he used at Cannae became a model for countless battles that followed. His story became less about Carthage and more about the individual brilliance that transcended defeat. Carthage's fall also served as a reminder of the ruthlessness of imperial ambition. Rome's destruction of Carthage wasn't just about military victory, it was about sending a message to the world. Challenge Rome, and you'll be erased from history. But no empire, no matter how powerful, can completely erase its rivals. The very fact that we still speak of Carthage and Hannibal today shows that some legacies are too strong to be wiped away. Even today, the name Hannibal resonates not just in military circles, but in popular culture. He's become a symbol of defiance, a reminder that even the greatest powers can be challenged by daring and ingenuity. His trek across the Alps, his boldness on the battlefield, and his refusal to surrender are all testaments to the human spirit's capacity for resistance and innovation. In many ways, Hannibal's story is the ultimate underdog tale. Facing an adversary with greater resources, greater manpower, and the determination to erase him, he fought anyway. Though he lost the war, he won a place in history that no victor could take away. His legacy serves as a lesson in resilience, strategy, and the power of daring to do the impossible. Despite his genius, Hannibal was outnumbered and Rome was relentless. Rome refused to negotiate, refused to surrender, and instead turned the tide by attacking Carthage's territories in Spain and North Africa. Sometimes, no matter how brilliant the strategy, brute determination wins the day. With Carthage's resources dwindling, Hannibal was forced to return home to defend his city. At the Battle of Zama, he faced Scipio Africanus, a Roman general who had learned well from Hannibal's tactics. This time, Carthage lost. The Romans took everything, stripping Carthage of its military and economic power. But Rome wasn't satisfied. A few decades later, during the Third Punic War, they destroyed Carthage completely. burned it to the ground, enslaved its people, and tried to erase it from the map. The Romans didn't just want to win, they wanted Carthage forgotten. Why? Because Carthage represented everything they feared: an equal rival, a potential comeback. They even salted the earth so nothing could grow there. It's almost as if they were afraid of the legacy that Carthage left behind. Today we remember Hannibal as one of history's greatest tacticians, admired even by his enemies. His tactics were studied by the likes of Napoleon and even modern generals. In Carthage, though its physical city was destroyed, its influence endured. Carthage's contributions to trade, maritime exploration, and military tactics left an indelible mark on the ancient world. As an African proverb goes, until the lion tells his side of the story, the tale of the hunt will always glorify the hunter. Today we tell the lion's side, the story of Carthage, a city that dared to challenge an empire. And though it lost, its legacy lives on, hidden beneath the sands, waiting to be rediscovered. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the past. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Here at Veil of Time, we're uncovering the stories that have been hidden beyond the veil. And remember, history isn't just about what's written, it's about what's hidden.